Say it with me. A change is coming. Today, I decide to tread on new track. If you're wanting to try anything, if you're wanting to change something in your life that might be hard and challenging for you to change and to evolve, just know that when you release those things, new choices come about. So I was listening to a couple of different things and about changes and choices and opportunities. And what I was learning about is with different frequencies comes different habits. If you have a negative frequency, then you're more apt to make bad choices, or you're more apt to go back to the things that you were addicted to and you couldn't release from. But when you have a good frequency, then you're more apt to think, I don't have to be this way. I can be this way. But with my higher frequency, I'm going to choose to do the right thing or the new thing or whatever my intention is to do, to aim for that and to be better and better. And so you're giving yourself this motivation and this great intention to do big and mighty and great things. And so to step back and to think I can do this instead of I'm not allowed or things like that. Therefore, if you have a positive frequency and a positive mindset, then you're more apt to tread on new tracks and make changes because you feel that sense of safety and that sense of freedom. Now, when we have something that we can't release, the question then comes, why are we attached to this? What is behind this thing that we are connected to, or we can't break from this addiction or this habit? Why can't we stray away from this? What emotional tie is holding us to this? And so when we start to think that way and we allow love to come into our heart and understanding into our heart, and we sit with this for a little bit, then unraveling starts to take place, and we start to understand how we can progress and move and how things will begin to evolve and we'll be able to grow and be able to adapt. And adapting is wonderful. You know, like for a long time, I absolutely loved my hair. I loved my hair. It was long. I curled it all the time and it was just who I was. And then one day I wanted to think, you know what, I can change. All this time I've wanted to try short hair, but I've been afraid. And you know, though, like I want to be excited to try something different. And I thought of all of the horrible things that would happen after cutting my hair, but then I also thought if I cut my hair and allow change, then maybe I would be happy with this change, and maybe I can do new things with my hair and experiment and try new hairstyles. And I did, and it made me so happy. A change like that, yes, even though it can be scary, can also be rewarding. Same thing with food. Like a lot of people have reached out to me like, I can't eat like you. I can't eat like you. It's not eating like me, but it's how do you want to eat, and how do you want to evolve, and how do you want to adapt? And everybody is different. It's baby steps, and it's mindset, and it's what emotional ties do you have to food that you need to break and that you need to work through before setting new ground and before treading new tracks. So what I had to do a lot to break old habits and to break old ways with food and addiction and things like that, because let me tell you, I had an addiction problem to food as well. When I was breaking those old habits, I had to think, why am I emotionally tied to these foods? And then I had to ask myself, why am I attached? Then I had to ask myself, what emotions come behind this that I have to sit with and figure out? Because whatever I'm attached to, there's something inside of me that is greater than that food or that attachment or that addiction. And so when we start to release all of these things, and we know that the emotion that we are releasing is bigger than the attachment doesn't even matter. And when you heal from that and you bring it to the forefront, the conscious of the mind, then the subconscious mind can release that, and you don't have to be pulled back constantly to where you're drawn to it because you've drawn a line. and an understanding that I no longer have to be connected to this, whether it's food or whether it's a beverage or whether it's like alcohol or whether it's your hair or there's so many things that I don't even have to list right now. So in saying that, going back to what I started about with food, if I start thinking, what can I experiment with? What can I eat? All of these things, how am I going to feel? I'm going to feel amazing. I'm going to want to start writing. I'm going to want to start running. I'm going to want to start, all of these dreams and passions start coming out of you when you think, man, I did this, now I can do that. And it's just these milestones that you create. And what it does is it all comes from a positive frequency. And once you understand that and you start sowing from that, then you see, wow, I can start sowing a garden because I took this and a little sprout came from it. I planted it and it blossomed. And now I can do it with this because I already have experience with that. So you just allow yourself to evolve and change because change is so good. Like, let me tell you, after I cut my hair, change for me was easy because I never wanted to change my hair. It was who I was, and I was afraid if I cut it, then I would lose a part of myself. But I didn't lose a part of myself. My hair was not me. And food addictions are not my situation. Food addictions are not my emotional attachments. And it was like I had to ask myself, why am I preventing myself from healing and from feeling good? Why do I not want to release these foods? I was the biggest meat eater that you've ever seen. I loved pizza. I could slam 8 slices of pizza like it was nothing. When I was 12, I ate 9. Like it was nothing for me to put away food, and I still can put away food. I just put it away in a different play, with different foods. I choose differently. And I love my foods. I love it. And I'll find myself when I'm defeated and I feel very sad and depressed from a situation that may have taken place, my food doesn't really taste good. But when I'm happy, my food tastes great. And it is amazing. But you have to ask yourself, why aren't I enjoying my food? Why aren't I enjoying my outfit? Why aren't I enjoying this beautiful day? It's not because the day is not beautiful, because it's a beautiful day that you're not enjoying, but it's something behind the scenes that you have to figure out and settle. So if there is a bad situation, separate yourself from that. If you're going into the cabinet to get a ho-ho, separate yourself from that. What am I feeling? What's going on? And bring love to yourself and understanding to yourself and sympathize with yourself and understand that there is something going on. And when you do this, you allow healing to come and restoration to come. And then you'll start being able to make new choices and new habits. And one new choice will lead to another, will lead to another, will lead to another. And you'll find yourself on this long track and you'll look back and you'll see all those tracks you've been treading. Because one leads to another, and leads to another. Change. Take a moment and allow change. Let go of those old habits. Figure out why you're tied to them. I had to figure out, like, these things, these habits, these changes will help me heal. Why aren't I stepping forward? And there were a few things that I had to let go in my life. And still to this day, like, I feel myself craving foods that I used to eat back then because my body, my subconscious is familiar with those things. But you just have to remind yourself and you remind your subconscious, everything is okay. Like, I have control over this. Everything is happy. Like, I can make new decisions. I can make new paths. I can tread new tracks. So find your attachment to what you're struggling with. Find the goodness in what you want to change and why you're changing for a good reason. Not because you shouldn't or because you can't or because that's a no-no. but rather because what I'm choosing is better. What I'm choosing is more exciting. What I'm after will give me more choices, and more opportunities, and more opportunities, more excitement. Open your world to a brand new place, because there's so many opportunities waiting for you. Absolutely. Just go get them. Hope this helps somebody today.